Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's your boy Stevie Jobber.
It's your boy Dangerous Duke.
And welcome back to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast, putting wrestling over one podcast at a time.
Damn.
And we are here fresh off of a Eagles win, championship win, to discuss more wrestling. Um, it's Elimination Chamber. It's the day after Vengeance Day. It's the day after Grand Slam, and them kind of going head to head. Um, a lot of stuff to talk about, but also not a lot of stuff to talk about. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We'll touch on everything. Let's talk about the chamber. Uh, Canada is hosting the chamber, hosting Elimination Chamber for what I don't think what might be the third year in a row. I feel like maybe
Okay.
um because I feel like Sammy Roman was Canada Elimination Chamber, but I could be wrong, right?
It was. I
Right.
think it was, yes.
Um, so let's touch on it. We were talking off air just how good the chambers look. Uh, how do you feel about the women's chamber first? How is stacking up? Who you think is going to win? And we'll do the same with the men.
Yeah, I mean, starting with the women, I mean, this year both chambers look very star-studded, which is different than years previous. I know in one year, I think we only had two world champions in one. There was one instance where there was only one world champion. So this year they gave us star-studded on both sides, respectively. And then for the women, we're starting off strong. Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bailey, Naomi, and then we still have one more that still is potentially going to be added. Don't know who it is yet. Could be Raquel, could be somebody else. But looking at that standpoint right there, that looks like a very entertaining match in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who could win? I don't know. I'm not advocating for anybody. I just want to see a good chamber.
Yeah,
And then jumping to the men, I don't want to say that it's pretty clear who's going to win, but it looks pretty clear. So on that side, you have Damian Priest, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, John Cena, and then one still to be added between Seth Rollins and Finn Balor.
mm-hmm.
Probably going to be Seth that gets added. So if that's the way they go, either way you slice it on that side,
Mm-hmm.
five of the six are former world champions. So very star studded both ways through. The women's side, I'm not sure who's going to win just yet. On the men's side, to me, it's looking like they might edge this out to John Cena just because that's the only one that makes the most sense right now. With Priest not being in the title picture, Seth not being in one, Logan's definitely not getting the Mania match. Punk and Cody, they had their little debacle. John's been very adamant about being a 17-time champion, and the crowd seems to be gravitating more towards that. And respectfully, you know, I'm not mad at that at all. So I'm thinking Cena's going to win for the men. Now, Stevie, I've talked your ear off about this on air, off air. Where's your 2 cents at? Where do you think the winners are going to pop up from for both of these matches?
Uh,
What's your
You,
thought?
you know, I'm at an interesting place. Um, as far as the women, I'm really up in the air because they're fighting Rhea Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
So really, it could be anybody. It could be anybody because I don't expect whoever's fighting Rhea Ripley to win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like picking a lamb for the slaughter. Um, which booking wise, it becomes a little more difficult to pick because you're either going with a match that everyone has been anticipating, which I don't know that there is one yet. Especially since you did Nia versus Rhea already.
Ooh.
Um, like you did it already, so that can't be it. So what else is there? Unless it was Alexa Bliss, but I don't know. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't because I could see how maybe you could maybe, but it's a stretch. It's a stretch. So I don't really have a pick for the women. As far as the men, it's interesting because I have a theory about John Cena's character this year that would be ruined if he was to win.
Hmm.
It would immediately put it into my theory. So I don't think it's gonna be John,
Okay.
but I don't know who else it would be just yet. Too many people make sense, but there's not a lot of people that feel like
Too many
that's
variables.
yeah. There's a lot of variables at play. We know they might be leaning to Punk, Cena, Seth. Somewhere they might be headed to Seth Punk at Mania. I'm not really sure where they're headed with Punk because a lot of people expect Punk to win or
Hmm.
Punk to have a situation where he's cashing in on that guaranteed favor for Mania to be in the main event because what other favor would it be? So I'm a lot of different wheels turning for me.
I want to say real quick before we jump to the next one.
Mm-hmm,
You made a comment about the women that you don't know who it could be.
mm-hmm,
Then you said maybe Alexa.
mm-hmm.
I have a theory that the winner of this match for the women isn't going to be the only one in the match now, based off of what happened last week or the week before on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
New pick for the women. Liv Morgan's going to win.
Liv Morgan.
Now, hold on, big picture here. Liv Morgan's going to win.
Mm-hmm,
Officially, as of the chamber, it's going to be Liv and Rhea for the title at WrestleMania.
mm-hmm,
But Rhea did also say to Io the night after the chamber, Io has a guaranteed title match.
mm-hmm.
I feel like Liv and Raquel are gonna cause some kind of chaos, if you will. I don't want to get the curse word out, but they're gonna cause some kind of havoc
Mm-hmm.
to where it messes up Io again, and then and then Adam Pearce straight up just makes it a triple threat at Mania between Rhea, Io, and Liv for the women's world title.
Damn, I
I,
ain't gonna hold y'all. I mean, Rhea could win that. Probably isn't gonna win that, but I wouldn't be mad at EO coming away with that. I
I
wouldn't
mean,
be. A lot of people have been advocating for EO Sky this year.
and think it it would be anytime there's been a triple threat match for a world title on the grandest stage of them all, more often than not, that triple threat has been a banger. Just look
Yeah,
at the history of world title matches at Mania, when the ones that were triple threats at least. More of them have been good than they've been bad.
and between the storytelling and great wrestling, I can't even hold you because at this point, Liv Morgan has rose to the occasion. EO Sky was always on the level. She was always on the up and up. She's probably the best out of the three of them.
And that's how you get
Um,
one of the hottest feuds of the year and still manage to keep it fresh by bringing in somebody that the crowd is very much behind that
what
isn't in
happens
that
to
feud.
Bailey though?
Oh no, we got a plan for Bailey at Mania.
Oh, we do. Okay, all right. I'm just thinking of myself.
No,
There's a
no,
lot of variables. A lot of
no.
variables.
We have a plan for Bailey night two of WrestleMania.
Mm, okay.
Not even night one, night two.
Ooh. Okay. Um, moving past this. To wrap up the men's chamber, we did have like a chamber side question, which was how does this all fall in line with the Judgment Day? Because we assume Seth is going to be in the chamber, maybe not to win, but to storytell definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, not gonna lie, Seth winning would be amazing, only because Seth versus Cody, the match we haven't seen since Cody first got here, Cody's first major feud that put him this over, the man that made him, Seth Rollins. coming back a new man. Like, I think I can do it. I can do what I didn't do before.
Mm-hmm.
Because Seth got a lot of chip on his shoulders.
Friends the year before to enemies now.
It would be interesting. It would be. Some could say, arguably, without Seth, he never would be champion.
This is true. Very possible.
But it probably won't be Seth. So how does this fall on the Judgment Day? We already know there's been tension for months, and I give it to Dom. He's kind of trying to step into his own real quick, a little bit. Little, yeah, I mean, he got a little confidence on him. He got a little Latino heat going, and he think there is no leaders. Why don't I call some shots and pull my weight? And Finn seems to be
Mm-hmm.
having an issue with it. And Dom made a very good point. JD on the bench. I mean,
It's
we
not,
might need some numbers around here.
and he's not wrong. He
And
is
and
not wrong.
and and when it comes to bringing in guys to join the Judgment Day, it's always Dom. I ain't gonna hold you. You keep an eye on it. Dom is always bringing in the new people. He
Dom,
was the first new person, and he continues to be the door between their working relationships.
Dom always has a way with his words. We might not like to hear him talk, but he seems to have a way with his words. Got
Listen,
Carly, brought Carly into the fold, got Liv in the door, allowed Raquel to come in. Dom has a way with words, and I feel like Dom's gonna have a way with his words again because whether it happens before Mania, at Mania, or the Raw after,
mm-hmm,
I could see this leading to a potential divide. And then I don't want to call it a hostile takeover, but a smooth transition
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
into a match between Dom and Finn. And then that's how we get our new person slash potential
Ooh,
leader.
I'm clapping it up for you because if you remember Rewind, Judgment Day, Everything Counts, when Edge first added Rhea, I think to beat Finn or AJ, was one of them. At a Mania, he had the new member pop up and win him the match. Now, what if Dom, okay, take a page out of Edge book and introduce the well, not the new leader, but introduce his new guy that he been saying we need around here
Mm-hmm.
at Mania to beat Finn. What if they decide, yo, Judgment Day does need a leader, and it's not you?
Potential. I could very much see it, and you never know. Judgment Day is known to be a little dark at times, so maybe they go a little black with it. You never know.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind personally. I think it'd be a very cool addition. He could be kind of like a. I ain't gonna jump the gun on it. We say it too much, it
Mm-hmm.
might not happen.
Yeah.
But it would be pretty cool. And to see Dom go one on one with Finn at Mania feels like he's following up on a trend of having one of the more exciting matches, at least story wise, of the night at WrestleMania. I think he's managed to do that like 3 times if he can do it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so moving on from the chamber, moving on from Judgment Day, give
Leading to the next one.
aiding to the next one. Giving the women some. Let's talk about uh another dark entity in the Undertaker,
Mm-hmm.
and him surprising Triple H, being the first ballot Hall of Famer for this year in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Hunter caught him back on ESPN, I believe, Sports Center, something like that.
Yep, ESPN.
ESPN. and got him back by inducting Michelle McCool into the Hall of Fame, or presenting her with the induction into the Hall of Fame. So how do we feel about Michelle McCool, man? I mean, personally, I think is mad love. She did a lot of work. She was a great character. She was great in ring. She was the first girl I seen do the Styles Clash. So she was instantly over to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think up until the end of the Flawless run, she was always like, she was always over. She was always dope.
This is long overdue for Michelle McCool, and for numerous reasons. One, in an era where divas weren't allowed to have good matches, what
Mm-hmm.
was she doing? She was putting on great matches.
Mm-hmm.
Being told, hey, you got to go back out and redo your match because your punches look better than the guy's punches do.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that story gets brought up in the speech. But no, in all seriousness, long overdue for Michelle McCool. Ho- Hopefully, they don't try to like make this a little side induction. I hope they do give
Mm-hmm.
her flowers and allow her to actually talk and reflect on the career she's had because it's been a phenomenal one. And
Shout out to
just
AJ.
shout out to AJ. And just for selfish reasons of my own, I hope that Layla is the one to induct her into the Hall of Fame because I really don't think anybody else could do it justice besides Layla.
That would be dope. That would be dope. I think that would be pretty cool. You should get Lay Cool in the game. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. Good DLC idea. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't say too much more. Like I said, I'm super happy about it. Well deserved. McCool was a women's wrestler amongst divas at the time,
Mm-hmm.
or unemerged women's wrestlers that had yet to be vindicated. You think about some of the people she was in there with. Um,
Dare I say, slightly ahead of her time.
she was. I mean, she was, and you because when she got in, when she was kind of hitting the late cool stride or whatever, um, and they had burnt out her as a single star. You got to think like she was coming up with a young Natty, a young about to leave Mickey James. Like
Mm-hmm.
they held like a special spot that we really needed them at the time.
Yeah.
We They did a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of heavy lifting. Um, from somebody else who did a lot of heavy lifting to someone else. Trish Stratus showed up Friday. I can't tell you why, except for marketing. That's why.
Pretty much.
So she comes
Pretty
out
much.
for the women's segment, and you're thinking, oh, cool. You know, they feature people every week now, every show practically, um, of just famous people that happen to stop by. Um, so cool. Tiffany's defending against Nia. Nia's not going to win. We know that because it's on television and WrestleMania is approaching. So this is to kind of finish that because Nia's really been traded to Raw. Um, so Tiffy's on the verge of winning. Candice LeRae interrupts. I don't know if that means they're going to do this match again. I would not prefer it, but I think if you're not going to do it justice, don't do it at all. Um, just my personal opinion.
That needs to be a t-shirt.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great. Hey, that's a bar. It's a bar.
Mm-hmm.
I was a rapper in a past life. So she gets jumped, and Trish Stratus, of all people, decides I'm gonna step in and help this young lion. Um, so Trish helps aid Tiffany Stratton, which I guess she's full blown face at this point, because uh, how else do you explain that? I thought she was gonna tween it, but
Mm-hmm.
she's apparently not. Which I guess cool. I guess I just hope it doesn't lose its luster. You know, now that she can't be like a dick. which was kind of part of her shtick. It was part of the appeal. You know what I mean? But hey, I mean, maybe it'll work. Maybe it'll work. You never know. You never know. So now apparently we're getting Trish Stratus and Tiffany Stratton against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae at Elimination Chamber.
Did we
What are
need
your
this?
expectations? I've drawn it out. I think you can tell how I feel. What are your expectations?
Did we need this? I mean, in all seriousness and in all fairness, did was this even needed? I feel like you could have been fine just letting Tiffy coast right past this pay-per-view and not do anything because you had no problem letting Rhea coast by and not do anything on the last one. So are you just trying to work the young talent while you have her? Because you know she's going to have to carry this match because Trish can't be Trish of the past, especially in there with Nia. Trish can't be Trish of the past. Nobody can truly be themselves in the ring with Nia. No
I don't
offense.
even listen. I don't even know if Trish had fought anything like Nia Jax in her time.
I don't think she has either. So I feel like this is gonna. I don't think Trish is gonna get a lot off in this match. She's probably just gonna be the punching bag for a little bit, get tossed out, and then Tiffy's gonna do most of the heavy lifting, and then Trish will come back in at the end with, her signature move, and
Mm-hmm.
that's about it.
Stratisfaction.
Yeah, I'm as sorry and
Ooh, what
as
if we get
sorry.
like a? What if we get like a? What's the joint she does in the corner? Is that the Stratisfaction or is the Bulldog the Stratisfaction?
Uh,
You know what I'm talking about? The corner turnbuckle Hurricane joint where she like handstands into the Hurricane.
no, that's not Stratisfaction.
That's not the
Stratisfaction is the
Stratus.
other
The
one. Yeah, no,
Stratisfaction is the Bulldog,
no. I
the
feel like
Springboard Bulldog. But
yeah.
whatever that move is that she does in the corner,
Mm-hmm.
um, I could see one of those into the uh prettiest moonsault ever.
Yeah. So I
Into
mean,
the
I
thing.
don't. I,
It's
I
my
I'm
prediction.
I'm feeling like this is going to be the bathroom break match for the Chamber.
Damn.
That's where I'm at with it. Again, sorry to all of the women involved in this match, but that's just my expectation for what this is going to be. I'm going in expecting the worst, hoping for something better, but that's where
Mm.
I'm at on it.
Um. Yeah, about the same. This is definitely marketing.
Yeah,
This was definitely like
we're in Canada. Let's get the biggest pop we can. Call Trish Stratus.
right. We don't have really a women's match. Let's call Trish. Let's get Trish involved. Let's see if Trish wants to do anything. Um, and we can try and figure something out.
Could have
It
been worse.
seems
Could have been Trish and Natty.
it seems very call it on the fly. That's true. That's true. Could have been Trish and Natty, and that would have been. They probably would have lost.
Yeah,
Shit, I ain't gonna lie to you. We deep enough now that I can say shit. They probably would have lost. Sorry, Natty. Damn, sorry. You just don't win a lot. I'm sorry. Yeah, you just don't win a lot. And to your credit, you've gotten so much better. You just still don't win a lot. And it's now it's becoming insane. I mean, they even
Natty
gave Goldust some when he reversed in age. You remember that shit? Goldust suddenly got better. And then we started giving Goldust every opportunity in the world to show that John, just like Ray. Never did
for
that with Natty. I feel
for
like Natty
my
reversed in age and we didn't give a shit.
for my UFC fans who listen to the pod, Natty has become the Tony Ferguson of the WWE.
That's giving no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna
Natty
say what I was gonna
Natty has
say.
become the Tony Ferguson of the WWE.
Uncle
Can't
Cootie.
can't catch a win, but you still love.
You love to see him go, but you'll love to see him go. God damn
Who's gonna carry the boat now, son?
it. You know who else I felt that way about? Who's my guy? I think they might have fought each other. We might have had to think about this. Who's my guy? That was like,
Frankie
yo,
Edgar.
Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar was the same way. Frankie
Yeah.
might not win every fight. Frankie definitely gonna bleed every fight. But
Mm-hmm.
man, is he gonna be entertaining? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Um, we digress. We digress. We're supposed to be giving the women some. So moving from Um, moving from that women's division to what the world currently is calling the best women's division in wrestling currently.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think Triple H shined a lot with the men and the tag team division and some of the women when they had their horsemen. But Sean is really having his bread and butter in the women's division. And you look at that whatever way you want to, because there's a couple different ways you could be like, yeah, he's got a finger on the demographic.
Go ahead,
Um,
Sean. Sean know what he
uh,
doing.
listen. Um, so moving on to what they say is the best women's division currently. I think the right moves were made. Julia won. Um, Roxanne needed to pass the torch. She's clearly gonna get called up soon if she's not already officially moved, which I feel like she might be, but I'm not sure. Um, but Roxanne needs to move on. I think maybe her and Cora and Jade stand and deliver because it feels like it needs to happen before she goes. And I don't think they're gonna put a belt on Cora Jade yet. So them two at stand and deliver seem right. But moving away from that into the title picture, Julia wins
Mm-hmm.
and Stephanie Vakir wins, who honestly I thought out of the three new big names they brought to NXT, Stephanie Vakir was the most primed to be champion already because she was better on the mic and just about the same in the ring. And I might be a little biased because I just like Lucha more.
Yeah. I'm not mad at the assessment. I personally would have went Julia, but I'm not mad at it. I'd have been fine with either one getting there first.
Um, but nevertheless, Stephanie Vakir wins the women's North American championship.
Mm-hmm.
And they wrap up the show really. Um, they wrap up the show with uh those two celebrating in the ring together, and Jordan Grace music hits. Jordan Grace is officially NXT. She comes out in like the old school black and gold "We Are NXT" shirts, but they've made it
Updated.
silver. Yeah, they've updated to make it the black and silver that is NXT of now, which really says I've hit my Triple H version of NXT. Like this is what my NXT is now. It's established. Now it's a real brand and it's considered as such. And I just had a whole thing about that because honestly, I felt like we had already gotten there last year, but Jordan Grace even had to mention it when she said she signed to NXT. Is like a third brand who, I mean, like developmental who, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's not really, I feel like there's this weird stigma we still keep on NXT that it's a developmental brand and we can't consider it with the other brands. I'm past that.
Yeah.
If you see who's on NXT, who comes to NXT, the type of feuds they have on NXT, the people that want to come to this NXT, it feels like the black and gold in a different incarnation. It's slightly variated, and the variation is Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
He put his spin on what NXT was always supposed to be, and it's become one of the hottest brands on TV. And I don't want to be that guy, but if you think I'm lying, you can look at the numbers.
Not
They
even,
beat AEW every week.
yeah. I was gonna say you don't even have to look at the numbers. I know this is a shine for the women, but women alone, Roxanne doing some of the best stuff she's done, Cora Jade doing some of the best stuff she's done. Them utilizing Bailey to come back down and do what she's doing is great. Stephanie Vakir, Julia, Jordan Grace coming into the fold. Their women's roster alone is probably the best women's roster anywhere in the world, not even just within the three WWE brands.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at the men aspect of it as well. Trick Williams is doing great things. this new dark group that they got coming in. Obviously, they're still very brand new, but so
Yeah,
far,
yeah. They
I'm
haven't
kind of
named them, but I don't know. So they seem swaggy. They seem like a
yeah. They
people
they
were calling them knockoff Shield and knockoff Retribution, but they look kind of swaggy out there. I'll give it
Yeah.
to them.
As of right now, it looks kind of decent to me. I'm interested to see how that goes. Obafemi is doing great right now as a world champion. Not a lot of people had high hopes for that, but look at him shining through.
Doing better than Gunther.
And then better than Gunther. And then even the potential people you have coming in, and the new man you just got with Ricky fucking Starks.
Ricky Starks. Ricky
Dude,
Starks, man.
NXT is killing it right
Come
now. And
on.
out of
Developmental who, buddy?
yeah, like straight through that
They're
and that
hitting a
man
stride where people like Adam Cole want to come there. Like, you know what I'm
he
saying? It's
yeah,
back to that level of like,
it's back
no, they
to
really do it. They really do their job here. Like, they
yes.
wrestle good and the stories are good. And we're working with TNA, which I felt like gave them a lot of legitimacy because
They're
now we're
establishing
doing it
themselves
with
as a
the other
third brand.
indie guys.
Yes,
You know
very
what I'm
much so.
saying? This is they're doing great work over there. We got to stop considering this is developmental. We got to take it for what it was before. Yes, they're establishing young stars and they're doing it better than when Triple H was doing it, but it's still somewhere Ethan Page is. It's still somewhere that Jordan Grace wants to be. It still has the best tag division. It
Hmm.
still has at least one of the best tag teams. Um, yeah, like they're still doing amazing things that have to be considered. Shit, Roxanne was on the Indies. She was in ROH.
Hmm.
It's a legitimate place, man. We gotta start showing putting some freaking respect on NXT. It's just as
Absolutely.
important as the other shows. We gotta treat it as such. Um, speaking about respect issues, I think we get to our last point here.
Hmm.
How do we always end up back on the bloodline?
Because just when you think you're out, you're getting pulled right back in. And it's never the same thing. It's always something different.
It's always something new. It's always
God,
something new.
there's more dynamics, twists, and turns, and like there's more layers to this than the Harry Potter series. Like
Is it?
just when you think you're done and you're out of the prison of Azkaban, boom, you're thrown right into the goblet of fire. And
It
then
is
once you think you
wrestling's. Go ahead.
man,
Keep going with the analogy.
I was gonna say, and then once you feel like you're getting pulled right out of that fire, you find yourself dealing with a half-blooded prince. And right
Mm,
now, we have some princes who want to become kings of the bloodline, but they
very
will never be
true.
the real order.
Very true. Listen, there's a we talked about it last time, but now we find it actually playing out. It is a weird dynamic, man. It's a weird dynamic that's happening between Solo and Jacob because you left them high and dry. And just like we said, Jacob's hitting his stride now where he don't really need Solo. So Solo got some answering to do when he get back because you can't be the leader and me hit my stride at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna feel weird and it feels off. But this is a thing. This is a storyline thread I thought was funny. Um, somehow in all of this, I don't really see Solo as a bad guy. I mean, starting from the night after Mania or the SmackDown after Mania,
Mm-hmm.
Solo really just wanted to get the kingdom back. And he felt like you left. This is the funny part about it. He felt like Roman left. I was next in line. I'm going to step up. And nobody, you know what I mean? Forget whoever say I'm here. I'm doing it my way because I got it. I'm Triple H. And after Shawn, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is mine now. And he got checked. I mean, he got checked, but he was running it kind of tight before he got checked. That's not a lie. Now he was killing it every week. He got checked. He went away. Just like when Roman went away to get his head straight, Solo went away. And Jacob felt like Solo. I'm gonna get mine's then. And Jacob is a different type of cat. Even these interviews, the interviews with Damien, the interviews, like these past recent interviews have just been. And he finally said dog walk on Friday. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they've been they've been. I don't know. There's something about the guy. Like everything I saw in MLW translates even clearer because they go out there and they let him be him. He talked like him. He performed like him. They let him do everything but go out there barefoot. Um, and it's dope. It's dope to see. But in all of that, and Jacob hitting his stride, Solo coming back, it felt weird, but I
It,
still feel like Solo's the good guy. And here's why: because when he was approached, I felt like Solo gave it to him straight. I don't feel like Solo has ever lied to a member of his family, except for Paul. He definitely lied to Paul. He lied to Paul for weeks. But aside from Paul, how he felt about Roman, he kept it 100. How he felt about Jay, he kept it 100. Sammy, Jimmy,
mm-hmm.
he kept it 100 with everybody. And he kept it, I felt like he kept it 100 with Jacob. He said, look, I had to go get my mind right, but I'm back. I'm good. I'm good to go. And we still going to take over. The mission is still the mission. And he was like, and it's going to start with you. He
I,
was giving it to Jacob. He said,
I
listen,
will say, yeah.
I'm I'm giving it to you. It's going to start with you instead of making it about me, like
Mm-hmm.
Roman would do. He said, you in a position to win. Let's follow you. And even when Jacob felt some type of way, he was like, listen, I love you, Jacob. And Jacob ain't say it back, but Solo kind of did the right thing to me.
Look,
Am I
I'm telling
crazy?
you, Solo did what Roman wouldn't do. Roman has always said it's about bringing the title and the Ulafala back, but it starts with him being at the head of the table. Solo's thing, he wants to bring it back to the family, not for him, for the family. He said, I'm back. We can get my mind is right. I'm good to go. We can get back what's ours. And like you said, it starts with you, Jacob. He ain't even say it starts with me or it starts with us, or he said it starts with you.
It ain't about payback. It ain't about getting one
Yeah.
up on Roman.
It's just about bringing back what our family should have never lost.
So like he kept it straight.
He's
So
not the bad guy.
so what happens now? Like these little nuances kill me because now we got to sit here and say how much time we got. Are we
We're
almost
good.
done?
We're good. We got about 3 minutes.
All right. Just the crazy thing about it in these bloodline stories is the little nuances that change the relationships every week.
Mm-hmm.
So now is Solo gonna be the guy of like the guy that kept reason this whole time? That maybe it was a little misguided and made a mistake. Did he actually like now we see the repercussions of why they said we don't want them here?
Mm-hmm.
Like now does it spiral out of control and Solo go, oh shoot, I know what you was talking about. Now I'm on your side. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Do you got any lasting impressions, or should we get out of here?
Again, like I said last week, we are on this road to WrestleMania. We are taking some sharp turns and going through some sleek roads. So Make sure you buckle up them seatbelts because it's gonna be a wild, wild ride.
Mm. And with that being said, yo, thank you all for joining us. If you listening right now, wherever you're listening at, thank you for making it to the end of the show. Thank you for rocking with us this long, unless you skip to the end, in which case you made it in time for a cheap plug. If you look in the link in the description, there should be a link for you to follow all of our stuff, the IGs, the TikToks, the Facebooks, the websites, all of the stuff. Um, there's a little link tree lead down in there. You can like and subscribe right now, for real, right now, right now. Do it right now. I dare you. I double dare you. And with that, I've been Stevie Jobber.
I've been Dangerous Duke.
And ladies and gentlemen, please stay up, stay blessed, and Duke as always.
Stay dangerous.
I was putting up the middle finger for a second here.